beautiful day, students of grade 9 in the beautiful province of Lanao del Norte, the land of beauty and bounty. I am ARIANNIE Lagat, your teacher for today's lesson. Welcome to Module 2. Lesson 1. Representative artworks and artists from various art periods. What I need to know. Objectives. At the end of the lesson, the learners will be able to, number 1, analyze art elements and principles in the production of work following the styles of Western and classical art. Number 2, identify distinct characteristics of arts during the different art periods. Number 3, identify representative artworks and artists from various art periods. What's new? Activity 1. Paintings, sculptures, or architectures. In this activity, please refer to your learning activity sheet and answer it in your activity notebook. Direction. There are several artworks that represent the different periods. Identify whether the artwork is a painting, sculpture, architecture, and try to also guess which period it represents. Refer to the discussions on what is it. Complete the table in your learning activity sheet. And now, you may start writing in your activity sheet. Very good! Well done! And now, we will proceed to our discussion. Prehistoric art. Cave of Lascaux. Discovered by Marcel Rovida in France on September 12, 1940. Art form. Painting. Description or purpose or function and materials used. Has nearly 2,000 figures composed mainly of large animals native in region, human figures and abstract design painted in a cave as a way of communicating each other. Number 2. Venus of Willendorf, found on August 7, 1908 in Lower Austria. Art form, sculpture. Description, carved from Oolitic limestone, showing heavy breasts and large abdomen believed to be a charm to ensure fertility. Number 3. Venus of Brezempoe. Discovered in a cave at Brezempoe, France in 1892. Art form, sculpture. It is a sculpture carved from a mammoth ivory that showed a lady with a hood which represents the human face and hairstyle. Number 4. Menhir. Art form, architecture. A huge stone standing vertically on the ground, usually standing on the middle of the field or arranged in rows. Believed to be a structure where people buried their dead. Number 5. Dolmens. Art form, architecture. It is a stone table consisting of 2 huge standing stones supporting a horizontal giant stone which serve as grave or as an altar. Number 6. Cromlech. Art form, architecture. It is a circle of standing stone considered as a temple where rituals were held. Egyptian. Number 1. The sarcophagus of Tutankhamun, discovered by Howard Carter on November 4, 1922 in the Valley of the King, Egypt. Art forms, painting. Painted on the walls of the tomb of King Tutankhamun in the 18th dynasty and shows the life of the king while he was still on earth and the scenes he expects to encounter in the underworld after his death. Number 2. Queen Nefertiti bust. Created in 1345 BC by Thutmose in ancient Egypt and was discovered in Amarna on December 6, 1912 by German Oriental Society. Art form, sculpture. A painted stucco-coated limestone bust of the great royal wife of Egyptian Pharaoh Akhenaten, most copied works of ancient Egypt. Number 3. Statue of Pharaoh Menkaure and his queen, discovered by George Reinsner on January 18, 1910. Art form, sculpture. Carved in a smooth-grained dark stone called grey-waka or cyst that created a sense of eternity and immortality. Number 4. Pyramids of Giza, 2580 to 2560 BC. Art forms, architecture. Funerary structures in limestone and granite of the three kings of the 4th dynasty, namely Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure. Number 5. Egyptian temples. Art form, architecture. Serve as places of residence of the gods and key centers of economic activity and official worship of the gods. Materials used were wood, reed matting, and mud brick. Number 6. Mastaba. Art forms, architecture. Egyptian tomb in the form of flat-roofed, rectangular structure with outward sloping sides made of mud bricks or stones marked as burial sites of many eminent Egyptians. Greek. Number 1. Judgment of Paris, 575 to 550 BC. Art form, painting. Painted on amphora, a black figure pottery from Attica, which displayed the veneration of gods and heroes in their representation of myths. Number 2. Pizza panel, 540 to 530 BC. Discovered during the 1930s in a cave near the village of Pizza. Art forms, painting. Earliest known panel painting on thin wooden boards of panels covered with stucco plaster and painted with mineral pigments, which depicts religious scenes connected with the cults of the nymphs. Number 3. Tomb of Diver. Built in 470 BC and was found by the Italian archaeologist Mario Napoli on June 3, 1968 in Campania, southern Italy. Art forms, painting. It is a grave made of 5 local limestone slabs forming the 4 lateral walls and the roof and slabs carefully bonded with plaster, considered as only example of Greek painting with figure scenes. Number 4. Discobolus. The Discobolus, created on 460 to 450 BC by Myron of Eleutheræ, an Athenian sculptor known for his bronze artworks of athletes. Art form, sculpture. Figuring a youthful ancient Greek athlete throwing a discus in which original sculpture was made of bronze but was lost. Some copies were made out of marble and smaller replicas were made of bronze. Number 5. The Parthenon. Constructed by 447 BC and completed on 432 BC in Athens, Greece by architects Ictinus and Callicrates, along with a sculptor named Phidias. Art form, architecture. Greatest classical temple dedicated to the goddess Athena, engineered to correct an optical illusion and serve a practical purpose as the city treasury. Roman. Number 1. Head of Alexander, 100 BC. Art form, painting. Mosaic illustrates a battle in which Alexander charges the Persian king Darius in the Battle of Issus. Number 2. Boscotricae's Pompeii. Art form, painting. Fresco landscape painting believed to depict a ceremonial rite, either a marriage or an initiation of a woman in a mystery cult. Number 3. The Pertinacious sarcophagus. Art form, sculpture. Carved in a marble and used for the burial of Roman general involved in the campaign of Marcus Aurelius, which depicts battle scenes between Romans and Germans. Number 4. Sarcophagus from Serviteri. Art form, sculpture. Made of terracotta showing a husband and wife reclining comfortably as if they were on a couch. Number 5. The Colosseum. 70 to 82 AD in Rome, Italy. Art form, architecture. An oval amphitheater built of travertine limestone, tough volcanic rock, and brick-faced concrete used for gladiatorial contests and public spectacles. Byzantine. Number 1. The Empress Theodora founded Basilica of San Vital in Italy. Art form, painting. Mosaic of an Asian queen with dark eyes and hair with fierce expression. Number 2. The Barberini Diptych, Louvre Museum. Art form, sculpture. It represents the Emperor Justinian I as triumphant victor, which consisted of 5 ivory plaques fitted together. Number 3. Hagia Sophia, a holy wisdom in Istanbul, Turkey, in 537 BC. Art form, architecture. Structure has ashlar brick and mortar joints and is of masonry construction, which is one of the biggest domes ever created and constructed originally as a church but transformed into a mosque. Romanesque. Number 1. Christ in Majesty circa 1123 by an artist named Master of Tau located in Barcelona. Art form, painting. Spanish fresco transferred into a canvas in which Christ is depicted in full frontal view with the Gospels in his left and his right hand blessing the viewers, and was surrounded by the mandorla, almond-shaped frame. Number 2. Last Judgments in France. Art form, sculpture. Displayed in tympanum covered with plaster, and its center Christ is enthroned in a gloriole held by angels. Number 3. The Norman Crypt of Cistercian Cathedral by John Clive from 1360. Art form, architecture. Grand sculpted portals in the doorways of Worcester Cathedral. Gothic. Number 1. Lady and the Unicorn Tapestry, 1506 to 1513. Art form, painting. Series of 6 tapestries created in the style of Thousand Flowers, often considered as one of the greatest works of art of the Middle Ages in Europe. Number 2. Rose window from the north transept, designed by John D. Charles and Pierre de Montreuil in 1260. Art form, painting. Stained glass windows created to transform the vast stone interiors with warm and glowing color. Number 3. The Shepherd David, 13th century. Art form, painting. It is Gothic manuscript illustration which shows some realistic detail and nave naturalism. Number 4. Pulpit of Pisa Cathedral, sculpted between 1301 and 1310 by Giovanni Pisano. Art form, sculpture. It is one of the most iconographically dense works of art in the history of art in Italy. Crowded it with figures from the Old and New Testament. Number 5. Cathedral of Chartres or Notre Dame Cathedral, 1145 to 1260. Art form, architecture. The first high Gothic cathedral with thousands of sculpted figures and splendid stained glass windows. Now, you already know the different artworks and artists from various art periods. Great job! Amazing! Well done! Let's proceed to our next activity. Activity 2, Investigador. In this activity, please refer to your learning activity sheets. Direction: identify the artworks and name the artist behind it. Refer your answer to what is it on this module. Enjoy answering. Start now! Good job! Well done! So let's proceed to Activity 3. Activity 3. I know those magic words. Direction: identify the name of the artwork being described in the statement. The magic words in the statements will help you identify the artwork easily. Number 1. Mosaic that depicts the battle between the armies of Alexander the Great and Darius III of Persia. Number 2. Representation of the 3 kings of the 4th dynasty, Khufu, Kaffa, and Menkaura. Number 3. Architectural design used for gladiatorial contests and public spectacles. Number 4. A prehistoric sculpture believed to be a charm for fertility. Number 5. Earliest known panel painting during the Greek era. Great job! Clap your hands! So now, let's proceed to our next activity. What I can do. Activity 4. Research Master. In this activity, please refer to your learning activity sheets. Direction: some of the sample artworks and artists of this lesson was given. Research more artists and their artworks representative to the different art periods. Follow the format below. Period or era. Name of artwork. Name of artist. Description. Material used. Enjoy answering. Start now! Good job! Now let's proceed to our assessment. Part 1. Matching type. Direction: match column A with column B. Write the letters only. Column A. Number 1. Prehistoric. Number 2. Roman. Number 3. Egyptian. Number 4. Romanesque. Number 5. Gothic. Column B. Letter A. Pointed arc and stone vaulting. Letter B. Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian architectural styles. Letter C. Dome created a new style in global architecture. Letter D. Pyramids and temples of substantial structures. Letter E. Megalith stones, menhir, dolmens, and cromlech. Letter F. Huge halls and arenas for public games and baths. Letter G. Doorways are often grand sculpted portals. Enjoy answering. Start now! Wonderful! Very good! I hope you enjoy our lesson for today. Again, I'm Teacher Ariannie, hoping to see you on our next lesson. Goodbye!